Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm joined by Princess Minnie, and I'm wearing my Walt Disney World birthday cake castle jumper. So I came on today. I have earlier just recorded the Yummy Jobs interview segment of applying for the CRP. This segment here is going to be about the final Disney interview. If you are looking to apply for the CRP, I hope this video helps you. As a disclaimer, like I said in my last video, this is being recorded about 4 years after it took place, so things are undoubtedly going to have changed. I know that some of the processes, like the Yummy Jobs interview, used to be in person, and I know that that's gone to being on Zoom. The Disney interview as well was in person. Don't know whether or not that is going to be the case remaining as time goes on, but hopefully you can still find some use to this video. Hopefully it can help you with some things. So yeah, you can comment down below any questions that you have about any of the application process. I'm more than happy to help you where I can. And equally, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can find me on Once Upon a Page, and you can also send me DMs over there. I like to answer lots of questions. I do get people message me from time to time asking about different elements of the program. And so without further ado, I think we should probably get into it. I'm going to just sit Minnie Mouse over here. She can just chill with me. So for a little bit of a timeline then, when I got the job for being a cultural representative at Walt Disney World, I applied back in July, and then got the interview with Yummy Jobs about 3 weeks later, just like the beginning of August. Or 2 weeks later. It was quite a quick turnaround, that part. But then the final interview didn't take place until November, which was like 3 months after the Yummy Jobs interview, and I feel like we didn't get told for like 2 months. It was a very, very long wait, and it was quite stressful knowing that that was going to be like, that we had to wait that long. The final interview took place in Hammersmith at the Disney headquarters, and yeah, it was spread out over 2 days, and I think it's because of the amount of applicants they had. And then what they actually do is they flew over the cast members who worked in Disney World for the interviews, so the people who are like in charge of the program, and they came over to interview us. They were absolutely lovely. Sadly, neither of them work for the company anymore, I don't think, so that is a real shame. But yeah, so basically the day consisted of, you sort of went in, it was amazing actually just to look at, because there's like a big Mickey statue, and oh, it's just so cute. It was quite early in the morning. I felt like we had to get there for like 9 o'clock, and then you went in, there was sort of like a mixer, and in the last video I spoke about how it took place, the Yummy Jobs interview, in Essex, and regardless of where you are in the UK, you had to travel to Essex. This is exactly the same thing for the final interview. The final interview was in Hammersmith in London. Also, luckily for me, very close. You had to attend it. So Amy, coming from Scotland, she had to go to Hammersmith. So she did. And that was fine. So, but she had to, again, that's a cost that you have to incur, and something you have to be aware of that you're going to need to do in order to interview for the programme. So basically the day kind of went similarly to the Yummy Jobs interview anyway, because we had the same presentation that we all watched. Sue and Janet, their names were, they introduced themselves, and sort of we did like it's kind of like a question thing, like they showed us the different Disney castles and asked how many people had been there. So that was just like a icebreaker kind of thing. And then we sort of all veered off, and we got told, I believe we actually had to book ourselves in for the interview. Like, I think we picked what time, but when we picked the time, I went for the very, very last one, which was like between 4 and 6 or something. So you had to come back for that specific point. Now, it is also interesting to note that during the final interview, I actually met Gillian. So if you've watched any of my CRP vlogs, and one of my lovely best friends from the program, so I met Amy in the Yummy Jobs interview, and then I met Gillian, and me and Gillian spent a couple of hours in Starbucks, or like an hour or whatever in Starbucks in the morning together. So it's just really fun that like those people that you meet in the interviews can actually become like lifelong friends, and I'm just very lucky. I mean, Mimi and Darcy, I wish I'd seen them at some point, but I hadn't. So they're just like a little bonus round that I got to meet when I was actually out on the programme. But yeah, Amy and Gillian I met when I was on my interviews. Anyway, I completely digress. Very, very, very sorry. So you watch the presentation. They did like a icebreaker, split off into your groups, so then you could just do whatever you wanted with the day. So actually Billy as well, so if you've been to the pavilion and you know Billy, he's not really been on my channel sadly, but one of my lovely friends, I met him, spent the whole day with him on the final interview, and then he was in the pavilion with me during the CLP. So again, fantastic. So there was 4 of us. We spent the whole day together, and we just went to Wetherspoons and just sat and chatted and got to know each other and stuff. And then we had to return for our interview. Like I said, I think mine was between like 4 and 6. And then this was like a one-to-one interview, but at the time as well it was a bit weird because the room that you were interviewing in, so I was like with Janet, she was the one who interviewed me, but then like way behind me in the back corner was Sue with another interviewee. So like you were interviewing in the same room, and I felt a bit uneasy about that because I was like, oh, like I don't want them to hear what I'm saying, because what if I'm embarrassing myself, because that is just peak Paige behaviour right there. So anyway, to go into what they kind of asked you in the final interview, again, I think it was about 20 minutes, but it could have been about half an hour. I'm not really sure. Like, time feels like it's going slowly and so fast all at the same time in these kind of situations. So I can't really give you like an accurate time scale. So they asked me what role I wanted to apply for, sort of like confirmed a lot of the stuff from Yummy Jobs. So I said that I was doing merchandise, and then she asked me about my availability. I said that I was a teacher and that I'd ideally like to start in August because that meant it would be better for XYZ reasons. They took that all on board. She made notes about it, just to, you know, help me out. And then again, going back, they really liked at the time the questions about how you would cope in Florida specifically, like with the heat. So she did ask me again, like, so how would you how would you cope with the Florida heat? Like, I don't know if you've been to Florida in the summer, but it's really hot. And I told her again that I'd lived in Australia. Like, it's all kind of a repeat of what I said in the Yummy Jobs interview. And then she said, like, how would you share your culture? I know that culture came up quite a lot in this part. Like, how would you share your culture with the guests? And I said, well, I would like create an authentic environment because I have an accent, and I think that like really helps immerse people in the magic of Epcot. Like, that's why it's special. And she was so friendly and so lovely, and she just went along with the whole thing, and was just fantastic. She just found it really funny. She was just really open, a lot more friendly than the Yummy Jobs interview. The Yummy Jobs was very like, no, okay. She was like laughing along with me, smiling, just like positively reinforcing me. So sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry if it looks like the camera's changed a little bit. The battery of my camera did just decide to run out like mid-flow, so that's really annoying. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, yeah, so I said about like my accent, and she was just really positive, like really encouraging, like wanted me to just keep talking, so obviously I did. And then she asked me what I brought to the interview for the Yummy Jobs part. So basically I just kind of did my presentation about the train, but without the train in front of me. So I just spoke to her about it, and she was like, you know, again, really encouraging, enthusiastic, all that kind of stuff. And then she asked me why I thought I'd be good for the job. So this was the point where I like again used stuff from my CV. You'll notice like the 3 interview stages were all kind of like a regurgitation of the original, like of each part. Like they all kind of mixed into one. So like once you'd done one part, you kind of could not repeat what you were saying, but like you had material to like talk about. You'd already prepared an answer. You'd already thought about it. Like when she asked like what skills do I have that make me good for the job, I spoke about, you know, all those things I spoke about in the Yummy Jobs interview, which is all those things I spoke about in my CV and my cover letter, like talking about how I'm good at organisational skills, punctuality, hardworking, enthusiastic, positive, like all these different vibes, and friendly and things like that. And that is just what kind of it's like you're trying to bring it all together to create this perfect, like this picture of you. And then she asked me about relevant experience, and I said, well, I've like worked in retail before. And she was like, oh, can you tell me a little bit about that? And I was like, well, I worked in Tesco's, like I did blah blah blah, and I really spoke about it. And again, she just wanted to know, she didn't obviously know what Tesco's was because she's American, and we were talking about it and in like quite a lot of detail, just like what my roles were. And she was like trying to make me say, she was like, so, and she didn't ask me explicitly, like, could you link that back to what you're going to be doing on CRP? But I just did, because I was like, that's the whole point, like, of her asking the question, surely, is like, why, like, this is relevant experience, like, why is it relevant? Because all the things I did at Tesco's, like, my good customer service skills, like, how is that going to transform me as a cast member in the role? And then she asked me how I feel about the live-in situation. Again, similar wording to the Yummy Jobs interview about sharing a room. And I remember saying, like, I share a room now with my family, like we're in a small like living situation, so we, like, I'm very used to it, like it doesn't bother me. I'm quite a heavy sleeper, all these things. Like, I kind of was just making jokes out of it, because not like informally, but just to try and show my personality. And she was like happy to do it. Like, I made a couple of jokes throughout the interview, and she was golden. Obviously, I have no idea how that would transform, like, or transfer now. Like, if you had a different interview, I don't know if they would take that badly. But for me, when I was with Janet, she just was laughing the whole time. We were having a great time. It's like catching up with a friend. She was lovely. And then she just like asked me why I applied for the job. Like, it's just like standard stuff. And again, same kind of question from Yummy Jobs. And I said, oh, I just wanted to experience living in America. I'm really fond of Disney World. I remember her asking me how I found out about the job, and like that kind of thing. And I told her about the fact that me and Alex had gone to Disney World on holiday, and I'd asked a UK cast member how they were working there, because I didn't know that that was what Epcot was like. So I kind of told her about that. She was like, oh my god, that's amazing. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I thought so too. And that was kind of it. Like I said, it didn't feel like it was very long, but it also felt like it went on for a lifetime. Again, she offered me an opportunity to ask her a question at the end. I think I asked her how soon it would be before we heard back, and she said a couple of weeks. Now, what actually happened is we did hear back in a couple of weeks, but it was more like, I think it was about 6 weeks, I want to say, because I heard, no, actually, was it that? No, I don't think it was that long. I think it was only 4 weeks, because I heard in December, so this was like early November the interview took place, and I heard like middle of December, I want to say. They just like send you an email, and it's like, congratulations, you've been selected to participate in a Disney program. I was very excited. I cried when I got the email. And then in that, it includes your offer letter, and that details your start date, essentially. Which, as we know now, upon reflection 4 years later, was not my start date because of COVID. But regardless, I did get it. That is the point where you will find out if you are waitlisted or accepted. Now, if you're waitlisted, what is the normal procedure is that they will contact you every month and ask you, do you still want the place? Are you still interested? And then you would just press yes or no. And then they just kind of keep you on the books until they have a spot offered up for you. But yeah, I just think that's kind of, this one a little bit shorter than the Yummy Jobs one, because I think the actual interview was shorter, because it was just the one-to-one interview. There was no group session. So again, like I say, if you have any questions about any part of the process, you can either comment down on this video, comment on another one, DM me on Instagram. Like, I'm there. I just really wanted to wrap up this whole series so that people had somewhere to go, even if it's not relevant anymore. Like I said in the last video, if you have anything that you're like, oh, actually Paige, like this is what happened when in my interview, if you drop that in the comments down below, that'll help out a load of people, and be fantastic, and I'd really, really appreciate that. But I just wanted everything to be together so that if you were looking to apply and you wanted a kind of idea about what was gonna be asked of you, then you had somewhere to go. So that's what this is. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are thinking about applying for the CRP, me and Princess Minnie will wish you good luck. Like I said in the last video, it's the best thing I've ever done. My wall here is to show for it, and I wish you all the success. Keep me updated on your journey. I do get people Instagram message me and they're like, oh, I'm going to apply, and I'm like, please let me know if you get through, because I just want to celebrate with you all. It's just a really exciting time, and hopefully things will start going back to normal now. So anyway, good luck. Final words from me. Me and Minnie will say goodbye. See you later. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.